Ladies and gentlemen and ladies, cats and dogs, children of all ages, welcome, welcome, welcome. You know who it is. It is the kid, Uncle Pizza, the pizza freak, always resonating at the pizza frequency. Means I love talking about pizza, I love making pizza, but mostly I love sharing pizza with people that I give a ship about. Yes, literally breaking bread with mother stinkers that I care about. And I have a sneaking suspicion that you too, my friends, also resonate at said pizza frequency, or why else would you be here? And where is here? Ladies, hence, ladies, cats, dogs, children of all ages. Very exciting stuff. Here we are on Zoom once again. Science of Sourdough, Slow Rise Pizza presents. You know the deal. So we spent a long time getting into the sourdoughs, the microbes, the bacteriums, what's going on in there, the burping and the farting. We spent a lot of time doing office hours after we did a gazillion classes, spent some time answering those questions. Spent some time doing some healthy office hours, right? Healthy pizza classes. We go waxing and waning. Pizza can be all things to all people. You know the dealio. Pizza always and always pizza. So, and now what we're doing, we're really excited. If you've never been with us before, thank you for joining us. If you have been, welcome back. You know the dealio. But we're really excited. Noel and Cam and Jimmy have been working for a couple years, and this is Bluebell. Today is the day. This is the virtual launch of the e-commerce Leaven Foods website. I'm serious. I'm not joking around. Today's the day. We're going to get down to it. We're going to be brass taxing it. We're going to go the ins and outs. We're going to lead you through what is the product, how do you get it to you, how do you start using it. We're going to answer the questions. We're going to talk Pizza Expo because those boys are going to be doing the dance out there. Mum's the word. Secrets. We'll be letting out some secrets. Noel's got some new toys. The OONI spiral mixer. She's going to let the bag out of the cat. He said he was going to do a mix, but then he's like, I'm not going to do a mix. I just opened it. But he's going to walk you through it. Do a little show and tell. During the classes, we used to do a little dough and tell, but not today. I don't think we're mixing. We did a mix last week. I'm going to ask Noel about how his pizzas turned out. He said he was going to make pizzas every day, twice a day on the mix. So I got to ask him about that, ladies and gentlemen. So we're really excited. Cam's going to be here. Jimmy evidently is in the lab doing his thing, splitting microbes, burping and farting, weighing out doji doughs, doing those tacos and turns. You know the deal. But I'm really excited. Cam is here. Noel, we're going to have a big discussion. We're going to walk through the website. So thank you all so very much for hanging out with us. Always hit us up in the chat. Throw out your socials. Introduce yourself. I'm so-and-so from this place. Here's my pizza place. Or I'm Joe Schmo doing pizza in my backyard. This is the type of pizza we love, building a community. That's the most important thing. Remember, I said it. Pizza is about sharing. It's about sharing, breaking bread with people that you care about. So put that in the chat. If you do have questions, you can put it in the chat. I'll try to soft lob it to the boys, or you can always hit it up in the old Q&A. I think I covered all my bases. 5 minutes in, I'm going to Bluebell him. He was giving me some shit last weekend because I didn't have my Bluebell, but guess what? I got it. Came prepared today. So here it is. Ladies and hence and ladies, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Slow Rise. No Slow Rise Pizza, Brohner.
Justin, got your bell. Ooh, you're not just playing it. That's like a tambourine.
It's playing us.
Really? It's the first time I've seen you go horizontal with that thing.
Hey, and I'm trying to keep you on your toes.
Thank you.
Because, complacency is a bitch.
I mean, I'll have to take your word for it.
I'm just telling you, you don't want to end up complacent.
Good. I do not.
Hey, what the hell is that thing in the corner over in front of your
Hey,
slow
don't get
rise
ahead of
toaster?
yourself. That's my brand new mixer. I just plugged it in. I haven't even turned it on yet.
Turn it on. I want to see some lights.
No,
I
no,
heard
no,
you
no,
got
no.
some
Stop
LED.
doing
No,
that.
okay.
Don't be so impatient.
I
We got a lot of
guess.
stuff to
Jeez
cover.
Louise. Jeez Louise. How are you doing? How's your week? How did the bakes go from last week? What did we do last week? Can you bring these people up to speed?
Yes. So last week, we mixed some of our new microbes.
Hmm.
We mixed them in my tabletop KitchenAid,
Hmm. Hmm.
and we did a New York pizza type of thing.
Hmm.
And what I
Intermediate
did,
mix. Intermediate mix.
we did the intermediate mix, yeah, the improved mix.
Improved mix. Thank you.
Yep. And what I did was, because I'm still testing all this stuff,
Right.
the next day I used some two dough balls.
Hmm.
The next day I used two dough balls. The next day I used two dough balls.
Wow.
And the ones that came out the best were the 3 day.
Wow. Surprising.
Well,
No.
yes and no, because what's really cool about it is that, and I was, this is something that we're still working on.
Sure.
It's even though we're technically launched today, we're learning about the product.
Congratulations, by the way. That's very exciting.
It is very exciting.
Yeah,
It's
I
been
went on the website last week after last class, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" And then today,
that was our dummy site. That was our placeholder.
today I was looking at the site, and I'm like, "All right, not too shabba-labba.
Yeah.
We got some stuff. We got some questions being answered. We got some integrado, huh?"
Integrado.
There we go.
So the plan is that I've been doing testing at home, and Cameron and James have been doing testing there. I'm going to go back tomorrow morning. I'm driving my old Mercedes turbo diesel down to, as you would say, Sandesi,
yeah.
and I'm going to spend a week with them.
Are you going to go to Comic-Con?
I'm not going to go to Comic-Con. We're going to be too busy making sourdough. So
Are you
the
going to go?
idea is,
But you are going to
Justin,
go to PizzaCon the next week.
we're going to go to Pizza Expo the next week.
Oh,
But you're getting
yeah.
ahead of yourself. Justin, I'm going to mute you.
I'd like to see you
We
try.
got a lot to cover.
I'm a
You're
co-host.
jumping around.
I'm a co-host.
You're jumping around.
Hey, just like the House of Pain. So, all right, just real quick, bring these people up to speed. If they weren't here with us and they weren't in Science of the Sourdough, what is this product? What are you doing? Like, I don't even understand.
Are you going to let me answer the question? Mute yourself.
I need to
Mute
know.
yourself.
I just need to know.
Mute yourself. You just did. Good. Excellent. So for those of you who haven't been here, and I'm looking at the list, most people have been here. I know pretty much every name on this list, which is awesome. So we started doing, in 2023, we started doing Science of Sourdough, and the idea was that while we were developing the product, we wanted to start to teach people not about the religion of sourdough, not about the superstition of sourdough, not about the folklore of sourdough, but really about the history and science of sourdough.
And also practical application.
You're not muting yourself. You're going to self-mute. I know. I'm Justin.
I was there for Science of Sourdough.
Are you asking me a question? Are you asking me a question?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Anyway, thank you for that. Thank you for chiming in. So yeah, so we spent over a year doing Science of Sourdoughs. And so Justin, if you have a chance and you want to put the playlist into the chat, that would be awesome.
Happy.
So we interviewed historians, we interviewed beer brewers, we interviewed artisan bakers, we interviewed authors, professors, scientists, anybody we could find that helped fill in the gaps with regard to the history and science of sourdough. And I think we did a pretty good job. I think our mission was really to start building a community one person at a time, really, so that when we would be ready to launch the product, people would have a better understanding that, yeah, we're calling it instant sourdough, but really it's real deal sourdough, right? And for those of you who missed it, the first guest that we had was my friend John Porter from Smog City Brewing. And we were lamenting that, brewers have so many options when they want to get yeast and bacteria, right? Depending on what kind of style of beer they want to make. But bakers have one option, Saccharomyces cerevisiae, commercial yeast. That's it. Just commercial yeast, whether it's instant dry, active dry, or fresh. Or they could make their own sourdough or get some from a friend or a baker, but nobody knows what's in their sourdough. Almost nobody. So we contacted some of our friends over the weeks and we sampled their sourdough starters and we invited them back so we could walk them through exactly what strains of yeast and bacteria were in their individual sourdoughs. And so one of the things that's so interesting about that is that depending on what's in your sourdough, one sourdough might behave totally differently from another. Not only that, one sourdough might or might not change over time. So long story short, we tried to dispel as many myths as possible. We tried to answer as many questions as possible. And most importantly, when people asked us questions, when we asked ourselves questions that we didn't know the answers to, we said, we don't know. And that's one of the things that I love about working with Cameron. So today, we are going to spend a little bit of time. We're going to bring Cameron on, and he's going to walk us through the newly launched e-commerce site.
Great.
Right? So we are currently taking pre-orders, and then once we walk through the site and answer some questions, we're going to make some announcements about the actual rollout of the product. We are going to be going to the Pizza Expo, and that is going to be the first time that the world is going to taste our products.
Wow.
That's going to be the first time they're going to try sourdough bread, sourdough pizza. We're going to even do a couple of demos where we mix the microbes. So people are going to get to see it all.
Yeah, and last week we kind of brought out the flavor wheel so we could make it easily, I mean, no joke, more digestible about the flavors and that each.
You're mixing metaphors, Justin. I don't know about that.
I'm great at it. I'm great at it.
You're
that
great
each
at
of the options kind of present,
Yeah.
and so depending on what type of flavors that you're looking for and that you want to present and that you want to share with your people, you can use these to tailor kind of your
Good. Exactly.
the destination of your dough, let's say. So it's really exciting stuff. So you want to show us the mixer first, or you want to bring?
No, we'll save the mixer for the end. I think we got to get to the meat of the matter.
Just real quick. So that's the new OONI spiral mixer. That's not.
We'll
out yet.
get to that later.
Okay. Sorry.
I'm going to be demoing it at the Pizza Expo, and
cool.
It's going to launch, I believe, April 6th, which is my birthday.
Hey, everybody take note of that.
No.
Noel loves, he celebrates his birthday for a week, so you have like a little bit of breath.
I do.
So, all right, without any further ado, I'm going to bring him on because, you're a little long-winded. We need somebody to really get this party started, and I think I know the guy. Sandeezy's own. Cam, if you're there, come on down.
Justin.
Cameron Martino, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing, my brother? How are things in Sandeezy? Product launch. This is virtual launch of the e-commerce website. You're flying solo tonight. Jimmy's in the back mixing bags of crobes.
Yeah, he's packaging microbes back there. Powdered microbes.
Dang.
Kilograms of microbes.
Holy moving.
What do you mean,
weight?
kilograms?
Moving
You happen to know
weight.
there's 1,000 grams in a kilogram? Are you sure you mean
Yes.
kilograms?
Yes.
Wow, that's exciting.
Come a long way.
Moving bricks. That's right.
Exactly.
We used to get excited for when we could put one bag of 40 grams together, didn't we?
Yeah.
That was like a party in a bag.
Took us a month. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the wonderful thing about it. Everything is coming up. This is what you guys have been working for a long time, and I'm excited. That you guys are where you are currently with it. So, Cam, why don't you just give us a brief rundown of the product, you and Noel, and then why don't we go into let's go into, I don't know, do you want to do the website, or you and Noel can just chit chat about it a little bit, and then we'll show up the site. Is that cool?
Sounds good to me.
Great. All right. I'm going to bounce off for just a little bit. I'll be right here if you need me.
Yeah. So like Noel said, the beauty of this product is that we're taking the blueprints from nature. So nature has all these awesome cultures that have been found. And unlike brewing, where you have all these different options for changing the flavor of your product or the quality of the bread or the pizza you're making, you have one choice, baker's yeast, one strain pretty much used across the world. And we're changing that. We're taking the blueprints from nature and putting them in the format of baker's yeast so that you can make the same sourdough that you would normally with a starter, but with an instant dry format. Right, Noel?
I muted myself. Yes, right.
So what do we want to do? Want to share the website? Are we
Well,
ready?
hold on. So before, yes, we are definitely ready. So just before we do that, how long have you been working on this website?
At least a year. We've been
At least
working
a
on it
year.
for all the content, everything we've done ourselves. It's just me and James over here working full time. So, it took us a while.
And
We
when you
have
say
an
full
awesome
time, you
designer.
mean like 16 hours a day, 6 days a week, right?
Yes.
So
We got
that's
some.
like 2.5 full-time jobs for most people.
Yes, yeah. We're working hard over here.
Good.
We want to bring the microbes to the people.
Bring the microbes to the people, we shall. All right. So we had like a dummy placeholder site up for a while, right?
Mhm.
And so maybe Justin can put the website URL into the chat. And then what we'll do is maybe we can have you share your screen and we can show people what the newly launched, as of this morning, Leaven Foods website looks like. Now, this is an e-commerce site, right?
Yes, yeah.
Which means we're selling stuff. We're live, right?
We're live.
We actually had
Microbes, the
sales
place to
this
buy the
morning, right?
microbes.
The
We
place
do.
to buy the microbes.
We've got real sales.
We've got real speed. We actually have sales. Isn't that incredible?
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Very exciting.
Okay, there we go.
All right. So what are we looking at here? We're looking at the home screen.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yep. Filmed here at Leaven Foods.
If people knew when you said filmed here at Leaven Foods that we're talking about, what, 600 square feet?
Yes. Yeah, and an iPhone. You know the deal.
I do know the deal. All right, so this is pretty awesome. Justin, if you wouldn't mind coming back on, we're ready for your cold reading skills.
Yes. Thank you, ladies and
But
gents.
first, the big blue bell of pizza-ness. Let's announce. Yes.
There we go. This
you.
is the virtual launch. Here, let me get my little microphone out. I like this joke here. This is the virtual launch of the e-commerce Leaven Foods website. Artisan food for all. We provide diverse, natural, microbial cultures in a convenient format, empowering anyone to create flavorful, healthier, and sustainable food.
Excellent.
Shop!
Oh, I love it. That was so
See,
good.
that was good, right? Okay.
Glad we rehearsed that.
Let me finish.
Good pause.
No, it was a cold reading. Don't undercut the joke. About, science, help, contact, shop. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin.
That was
That was good.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. All kidding aside, Cameron,
Mhm.
what did he just say?
Basically, these microbes, these communities of organisms that you're using in sourdough, right? You got all different types. You got not just yeast, you got yeast and bacteria, you got multiple types of yeast. It's like instead of, you've got the golden retriever, this is the zoo. We've got all the animals, got all different types. And they have benefits. A lot of people know about the benefits of sourdough. We spent how many Zooms talking about all the different benefits, what's real, what's not. And there's a lot of things that are beneficial about sourdough. And we're just making it easier for people to do that. And that's the artisan food for all, is that this process that causes, a lot of these things to be really expensive, we can make it available for more people.
Good. Now, before we jump to any other pages, I just want to make sure everybody understands. We are launching with, and let me say it, and then we can make an addendum. We are launching with 2 of the 3 products that we intend to roll out with. Is that correct?
Correct.
Good.
They're right there.
We're going to get to that. So I just don't want to make sure that we mislead anyone. We're showing 3, but we're rolling out with 2, with the next one to follow very soon, right?
Yes, it's on the way.
It's on the way. All right. So why don't we go to the next page, and you can we can start to talk about the different products. Beautiful.
Leaven Foods, all-purpose.
I'm sorry. Did you say purpose or porpoise?
Hey, all intents and purposes.
Oh, no.
Oh gosh,
I didn't click
I
it.
thought that this is the launch.
This is the launch. We're
What's
launching.
happening? All-purpose. This all-purpose blend of non-GMO sourdough yeasts and bacteria imparts a balanced flavor, making it an ideal replacement for baker's yeast in any recipe.
Good. Excellent.
Buy now.
Oh, that was good.
That was
good.
That was good.
Ring that bell.
I got
for
it.
yourself. For yourself. Good. All right. So let me tell you my reading of this, and then Cameron will let you loose on the unwashed masses. So we have 3 different products. This is one of them. This so far is my favorite, and what I love about it is that it's not sour like when we think of San Francisco sourdough. It's like when you make this 6 hours later, 8 hours later, 12 hours later, 24 hours later, it's the most delicious bread or pizza you've ever had. And I'm not just saying that. It really is. Because what I love about sourdough is flavor. What I don't like about sourdough is when it gets too sour. And so this all-purpose is intended not to get too sour. Now, if you want to ferment it for more than 24 hours, if you want to go 48 or 72, I'm still getting not very much sour, just a little bit of sour at 48, and at 72 is when you get that beautiful sour. Still not San Francisco sourdough sour, but that's why I'm going down to San Diego next week, because we're gonna kick the tires on this thing, and we're gonna make it all, and we're gonna string it out for a day, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and really get a better idea for how each of these products work. So Cameron, let me pass it off to you. What is your idea behind the all-purpose?
Yeah, I mean, I think you put it perfectly. I think when we first started this, I was thinking, in my naivete, that this was the only type of sourdough was the super sour sourdough. And you and James kind of crashed or burst that bubble. And we kind of played around with all of these different things. And since then, pretty much every time I've seen someone talk about sourdough at the expo, at the Pizza Expo, or on podcasts or stuff, a lot of, especially for pizza or things where it's not a single flavor you're going for, they really want that mild sourdough from what I can tell. And when we have the different microbes here, part of the benefit of being able to make this product is you can have full control over the ratio of bacteria and yeast, right? We talked about that in the science of sourdough. And you alter that now in a sourdough starter with hydration and time and temperature, right? You can make a sourdough starter more sour or less sour. And we even talked about how different microbes react differently, which might lead to the confusion of people saying lower or higher hydration is less or more sour, right? People still argue over that all the time. We can alter that directly. So we can change the sourness of the product by altering the blend of the bacteria and yeast that come from a natural sourdough in the product itself. So not only can we tailor this and make different products of different flavors, we can add different microbes over time that make different flavors, right? Like going back to the idea of the brewer. And if, at the end of the day, someday the dream would be we can make all different blends. So you can choose, you have your little marker on how sour you want your product to be, and we can just send you a blend, right? But for now, we're launching with the 3, really the 2, and then the 3 comes later. And that's it.
Good. Now, one of the things that I think about when I taste this all-purpose blend is I think about the first time that I had tartine, right? Because I grew up going to San Francisco and going to the wharf with my mom and my dad and my sister, and we would go to Boudin, right? And we'd have those sourdough bowls with the what's the name of that soup that they put in it?
Clam chowder.
Clam chowder. Thank you. And it was really sour, and you'd rip off this really sour bread and really crusty and chewy as hell, and you dip it into the clam chowder, and it was really delicious. And that for me has always been what sourdough was. And then when I had tartine for the first time, and I was like, whoa, it's really not sour at all. It's kind of almost fruity, right? And it had all these notes. It reminded me more of wine or beer or even cannabis, sorry to say, but not really, than it did of sourdough. And so for people who are not looking for a super sour sourdough, I think this is a great product. And also, this is an important point that I want to make. There's this kind of unfair kind of comparison between commercial yeast and sourdough, and they consider one commercial and the other one natural. One is like commercial or chemically fermented, and the other one is naturally fermented. I feel like what we're doing is what brewers have been doing for a long, long time. We're taking the superstition, right, and the religion, right, and the guesswork out of sourdough, and we're infusing science, right? So you can really get all the flavor that you want and just the right level of sour. Good.
Right.
Ready for the next one?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Easy. Bring out Easy again for the reading.
Justin, you ready?
Wild yeast. Wild yeast. This wild yeast blend is comprised of non-GMO.
Oh, sorry, Justin.
I guess back to one. Hey, gentlemen. Wild yeast. This wild yeast blend is comprised of non-GMO wild yeast from artisan sourdough. It imparts a rich, buttery taste. Jeez, I mean, what is this, amateur hour? These guys never had an e-commerce website before. Where was I? It imparts a rich, buttery taste without any sour flavor. Buy now!
Justin, that was your best one. That was your best one.
And I see on the wheel of flavor, Cam, are you talking about what that little
We haven't gotten to that yet. We're gonna circle back. Don't worry.
Well, this is part of the cold reading, Noel. Jeez.
Doesn't feel like you're reading anything. It feels like you might be. Hold on.
Fruity, buttery, toasty.
Excellent. Let me chime in real quick. Ring your bell, Justin. Ring your bell for yourself. That was excellent.
Good.
Excellent. So for me, this actually, when Cameron was saying that when he thought we were going to make sourdough, that it was just going to be super sour. When I thought we were going to make sourdough, I thought it was going to be more modern, like tartine, and I thought hopefully we'd be able to make something that was akin to the San Francisco style of sourdough that I grew up with. But I didn't know that we were going to be able to take commercial yeast and create a wild version of it. And this is pretty mind-blowing. I've been working with this strain for a few weeks, maybe a little longer, and I really like it. And the people that I have tasted on it, mostly friends and family, also really like it. And what's so interesting about it is that I can try to tell people that Saccharomyces cerevisiae, whether it's fresh or active dry or instant dry, is all the same strain. But when you try these isolated strains of wild yeast, right? And forget what Noel says about some Latin Saccharomyces cerevisiae. When you actually eat it and you're like, wait a minute, this isn't sourdough. This is like the yeast the way Mother Nature intended it. And I'm like, yeah. People go crazy, right? And it's not sour at all. So Cameron, take it away.
No, I think you said it perfectly. It's basically if you could take your sourdough and make it so only the yeast flavor was there. So if you were able to take your sourdough and remove all of the bacterial flavor, that's this. It's the yeast in a sourdough that was found with the bacteria, but only the yeast, no bacteria. So no sour flavor, but it still has a lot different flavor from traditional baker's yeast. And we've talked about this a lot, Noel, the difference between the baker's yeast that's used, the strain of Saccharomyces cerevisiae that's used across all of the different products now, all the instant dry yeasts are all pretty much the same strain. There's a lot of different flavors out there. Just like Saccharomyces cerevisiae, there's thousands of strains that brewers use that make totally different beers, right? And this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's all types of different wild yeast that we could pull out. And someday we're going to have to differentiate, because we're not going to have just one wild yeast product. We're going to have different ones. There's yeast that we've isolated that make like a banana flavor naturally. It's just a naturally occurring thing that happens with that yeast that kind of makes it taste like banana. It's the same thing that brewers do. There's banana beers, right? And it's just a yeast that can make that banana flavor. And you can do similar things with sourdough microbes.
Beautiful. So there's a lot of things that I want to say about this, and I'm super excited about this product. But what I feel like we should do, since we're at the halfway point, is why don't we allow you to show us the rest of the site? You can show us some of the tools. We can answer some questions. We can make a few announcements about Pizza Expo. There's a guest or two I want to bring on and talk with them. One or two of my clients are here. I'm super excited about that. Joey Sexton, you're one of them. We're waiting for Scott too. So anyway, we'll do that later. But why don't we start with a quick little tour of the site? And I just also want to let people know that we're going to be launching at the Pizza Expo, which we'll also get to. And then once we're launched and people are buying the product, when is I know these are pre-sales. When is the product going to start shipping, Cameron?
So we have limited pre-orders now, and then the product will start shipping on April 3rd.
Right. So we beat
3 days
by 3 days.
Yeah,
we win.
And your birthday.
And my birthday. Good.
So this is kind of the landing page. I think in the future, right, we'll add things to the flavor wheel. And the idea is that it'll give you something to scroll through and choose a product that fits the flavor that you're looking for in your bread, right? Right now there's 2 options, but in the future there could be a bunch. When you go in right now, you can pre-order. So you can choose up to 20 bags. If you want more than 20 bags, just email us. We'll be in food service eventually, but for now we're selling through the website. The more bags you order, you get a discount if you subscribe. And the bags just come every month. So you order a bag, test it out, see if you like it or not, and then you can order a subscription so the bags come every month as you need. The important thing here is the calculator. Talk about that real quick. So on the bag, there's a link to this. And on the website, you can find under help this conversion calculator. And this is something that Noel and I have been playing around with for a long time. So there's 2 components. The first one is you choose the product that you're working with. So the all-purpose or the wild yeast. And then you choose your current leavening agent. So right now it's just the current yeast. So you have the instant dry, the active dry, or the fresh yeast. In the future, we'll have sourdough or some type of pre-ferment that people are using. We'll convert from that as well. But the conversion is different from baker's yeast. So, baker's yeast has 200 years to get the concentration of the microbes up per gram, which essentially decreases the amount that you have to add. We've had 1, so we're not at 1 gram to 1 gram yet. So to make it easy to figure out how much to substitute in your recipe, we made this calculator. So if your recipe calls for 1 gram of instant dry yeast, you use 6.5 grams of the all-purpose. And you can just type in what you're using, right? So you can calculate what amount of our product you need to use. And the same is true for the wild yeast. You can switch it to the wild yeast and it will tell you how much to use.
So just to review before we go on, like for instance, if I was going to mix, like I do for my Zoom pizza classes, if I was going to mix like a New York style pizza for 1,000 grams or 1 kilo of flour, I only use 1 gram of instant dry yeast. So what would 1 gram of instant dry yeast be for this?
So if you're using the wild yeast, it'd be 5 grams.
5 grams.
Of the wild yeast. And if you're using the all-purpose, it's 6.5 grams.
Got it.
Yep.
Now, let's say I was doing a Detroit style pizza where I often use 2 grams.
Mm-hmm.
How would that work?
Boom. 13 grams of all purpose, 10 grams of wild yeast.
All right. Now, let's say I was making like a Sicilian pizza that proofs in the pan. That's usually about 3 grams of yeast per 1 kilo of flour. What would that be?
There you go. You get 15 grams of wild yeast and 19.5 grams of all purpose.
Got it. And if I was going to do the Roman style pizza, which is 4 grams of instant dry yeast.
There you go. 26 grams of all purpose and 20 grams of wild yeast.
All right. Now, just for fun, I don't use ADY, active dry. I know a lot of people do. I do use fresh yeast from time to time. If I was making a baguette, and my baguette uses, I'm trying to think the last time. So I think I would use about, let's say I use 3 grams of fresh yeast for the same amount for 1 kilo of flour. What would 3 grams of fresh yeast be?
Look at that. The default already defaults to Noel's recipe.
I love it.
4.9 grams of wild yeast and 6.435 grams of all purpose.
Okay.
So, as close as your measurements can allow.
Got it. Now, I think one thing I'm excited for people to play with this, and I'm excited for people to give us feedback. Once we get back from the Pizza Expo, we're going to be doing office hours once a week for this sourdough product because we want people to have tech support, right? And you can always call us or email us, but I think the weekly Zoom meetings have been really helpful in the past. I know that I have found them, and my clients and customers have found them really beneficial, whether they're consulting clients or people who are taking my on-demand or live Zoom classes. So I think they're going to be even more helpful for this kind of stuff, and I'm looking forward to comparing notes. I think we should let people know, though, that as we grow and as we progress, these numbers will change from time to time. And can you kind of tell people about that?
Yeah, basically, as we improve the process on the ability for us to both decrease the cost of the product and also improve the concentration of the microbes per gram, just like baker's yeast did at some point 200 years ago, we can decrease the amount of the inclusion. I don't know if it will ever be 1-to-1 where you add 1 gram of IDY and 1 gram of our stuff. Who knows? Lots of things are possible, but
yeah,
we'll get closer and closer with time.
Well, you know how I think about it? Like, I remember when my friend John Porter, this was probably 16 or 17 years ago, he introduced me to the term craft beer, right? And this idea of a microbrewery. And he was saying how hard it was because he was competing against companies that were buying so much more yeast and so much more grains, right? And they were able to sell their beer for so cheap because they had a lot more buying power. And so I feel like we are where John Porter was 16 years ago when he was a home brewer, and then when he opened his brewery, because when we say, hey, we want to order 200 kilos of yeast, they're like, you mean 200,000 kilos, right? And they were like, no, 200. You mean 2 million? 200 million? What are we talking about here, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think we've talked about this before, but it came first for brewers, I think, both because they work in a liquid medium, which is a little easier, and their microbes come in a liquid format, and figuring out how to both make these microbes so that they act the same in the dough as they do when we manufacture them, and also get them into a dry format that can be shipped around, because we don't want to be shipping you a soda bottle of microbes like the brewers get. Right.
Yeah.
So it's a complicated process. It took us a long time.
Absolutely.
Susan asked a good question. What's the weight of the bag, or smallest bag for home bakers or pizza dough makers? Which is a good point that would be good to touch on. What do you think, Noel?
Yeah, let's touch on it.
So the bag is a 1/2 pound. It was designed to be more suitable for restaurants or pizza makers. From small to medium size. If you're doing more than that, contact us. We have larger bags that we'll offer through wholesale, like 50 pounds and things like that. For less, we're such a small team that we can't really do too much B2C. It's in cards for the future. So it might be a little bit much for most home bakers, but the good ones, people who are baking a lot, you can go through it, in a reasonable amount of time. And the website's open to anyone.
And it's shelf stable in the refrigerator, of course, right?
Yeah, similar to baker's yeast, as far as we can tell, right? Brand new product. We're still figuring out all of the things. The important thing, and we'll say it in the directions when you order your bag and it comes in the mail, is there's a water scavenger in the top, just like you get in, a lot of food, dry food. And it's important to keep the microbes dry more than anything. The longer they're dry, the longer they stay frozen, like Han Solo in Star Wars.
There we go.
If you get them wet, that's how you wake up Han, essentially.
There you go. So, it was interesting. This morning, I started getting calls from people that the website was live. And I'm like, I know it's live. Thank you for telling me. You announced it on your site before I announced it on mine. And apparently some of my friends are following you. Thank you. So I started getting text messages at 7 o'clock in the morning.
I'm not really riser.
Yeah. So one of my clients is a New York pizza guy. And but he's doing like 14-inch pies. And about 300 grams or so of dough. And so he was saying, whoa, Noel, this stuff is pretty expensive. And I'm like, hold on. Let's do the math. So we broke it down, and we figured out that it only adds about 15 cents to a ball of dough for him. And so, yes, a bag of all-purpose is $53 for a half a pound. But when we did the math, depending on whether you're using the all-purpose or the San Francisco or the wild yeast, it's different. But the thing is that, and I think you could probably address this better than I can, we all have to make choices where we're going to spend our money, right? Is it going to be on Italian flour or domestic flour? If it's domestic flour, is it going to be organic flour, or is it going to be conventionally grown flour, right? Is it going to be some from an artisan mill that is a super small batch, or is it going to be from, a bigger mill like maybe King Arthur or Central Milling, right? And so same with tomatoes, same with pepperonis. And so I think that there might be some sticker shock on the product, but I think if you allow us to walk you through the actual increase in cost of goods, once you have a better understanding for how much bang you get for your buck, I think we're literally talking about pennies, not dollars.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, if you were to, I think obviously there's lots of ways to improve the quality of a bread or a pizza or any baked good. But, if you switch from what I would call maybe a non-premium flour to a premium flour, you're talking about, 50 cents to $1 per dough ball.
Yeah.
And depending on the inclusion of this product, you could be looking at anywhere from a 1 cent increase in your dough ball to a 15 cent or 20 cent increase in your dough ball.
Yeah.
And so, I'd say try it out and see that it's expensive, but it's impacting the smallest impactor on the cost to make a pizza ball, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Labor, other ingredients all cost more. Salt costs more than instant dry yeast, right?
I mean, Maldon salt's a lot more than kosher salt, that's for sure.
Yeah, water probably costs more for most people. Definitely in San Diego, it costs more.
And also, let me just jump in and say something else. I had another guy call me this morning from Chicago, another one of my friends and clients, and he has a Neapolitan pizzeria. So what we know about Neapolitan pizza is that they don't generally refrigerate their dough. And he uses about 1/10 of the amount of dough as my New York client, right? And so he did the math for one of his 265-gram dough balls for a 12-inch or a 13-inch Neapolitan. He's like, oh, no, this is only going to cost me $0.015 more. Where do I sign up? He sent me his address. I'm like, no, you got to go to the website and buy a bag.
Yeah,
$0.015. So it really depends on how much yeast you're using. And what we're going to try to do when we launch this product is make sure that your yeasted formula is correct before you start turning it into microbes. Because a lot of my clients, and they find this out the hard way, once I get in there and start helping them, they realize immediately that they're using 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, literally 10 times too much yeast. So once we bring that down, right, and we allow the yeast to do the work, then when we run it through your calculator and you look at what it'll cost for microbes, again, pennies on the dollar.
And that's part of the thing with these weekly office hours, I think, is that people can come and talk to us about how they're using it. How we can help people. Well, Noel can help people. I can help with microbiology if that's ever needed. I doubt it, but Noel's
Always,
here.
constantly.
We're lucky to have Noel to help us, you know, uh, help people use it properly. Because I think at the end of the day, it's going to be an incredible tool for people to add flavor to their dough. And not
Yeah,
just flavor, but a lot of benefits,
yeah,
longer
yeah,
shelf
yeah.
life, improved health, all the stuff we talked about during Science of Sourdough. But I think probably maybe it's time for you to enough of the website, time for you to talk about the other exciting things you got going on.
Let's do that. One of my clients, Joey Sexton from Sexton's Pizzeria, is on the line. Let me make sure he's still there. I asked him to come. Actually, he was one of the people who who emailed me his address and said, "I'll pay, send it to me," because he understands the power of this stuff. So let's see if Joey's there. Joey, I am going to promote you to panelist if you want to turn on your camera. I would love to chat with you. So Joey, you are currently a panelist. Let's see what happens if Joey can jump on. So I invited Joey to come on because one of the things that I'm excited about doing is talking with pizza makers and seeing where they're at and finding new ways to use this product. And so welcome, Joey.
We're doing
How are you? Where are you today, sir?
in the basement.
Where?
I'm in my basement,
What state? What city?
Ohio,
Ohio. Beautiful.
Columbus, Ohio.
Columbus, Ohio. Is that the capital?
It is Ohio. Yep.
If Justin were here, he'd ring his big blue bell. Awesome. So we've been working together for how long?
I am here. I've got family in Ohio. Love snow.
Okay.
Good to know, Justin. Good to know. So Joey, how long have we been working together virtually?
2020, 20 or 21.
20 or 21. That's correct.
Yeah.
And we've never met. I was hoping to meet you in Vegas this year, but one day
Yeah.
we'll meet in real time and space. But we were having a conversation a week or two ago, and Joey's always looking to take his dough to the next level. Hey Joey, while I'm bragging about you, would you put a link to your pizzeria, Sextons, in the chat so people can check you out?
Yeah.
So I'll let Joey tell you guys more about his pizza, but I just wanted to say, when I started working with Joey, we were just basically trying to get his pizza to be improved in just small ways, right? So we made sure he had the right amount of yeast, the right amount of salt, the hydration, the right mix of flours, and then we worked on the way that he was mixing, not too much. We worked on bulk fermentation. We worked on temperature control. We basically got it dialed in, and he's got, I believe, 3 pizzerias now, opening 4. And one of the things that we were talking about last week was that he wants to know what pre-ferment is next, right? So we were talking about pâte fermentée, we were talking about biga, we were talking about poulish, we were talking about sourdough. But one of the issues that Joey has, and I think a lot of people have this when they have multiple locations, is that each location is a little bit different, right? And so some people have issues with refrigeration space. Some people have issues of temperature control. Some people have issues of staffing, right? Some people have a lot of old staff, a lot of new staff. So Joey, I think one of the things we were discussing was that one of your locations, it's really hard to control the temperature, right?
Yeah, I definitely have some room temp issues in one of our spots.
Right. And so we were thinking about a poulish, but the thing about a poulish is that it's usually like an overnight thing. So you make it at let's say 5:00 p.m. and then the next morning when your guys come in at 10 or 9 or whatever to mix the dough, it's ready to go. But not if you can't control the temperature, right?
Right, exactly.
And so we discussed, obviously you want to expand. You're going to be opening your 4th location, and you want to even expand farther than that. We talked about all of the landlords that have been approaching you since you've since you've become one of the best pizzerias in the state. And so as you scale up, I said, well, you're going to have to invest in a commercial kitchen because you want to make your dough in one place. And so the reason I'm talking about this and the reason that I invited you here is that I think that one of these 2 products could be perfect for you because it'll be a way to add flavor, texture, aroma, color to your product without having to worry about how each location is going to process the biga, the pâte fermentée, the pouliche, or the sourdough. You can get the same product in each location, even if you're making them, at 4 different locations. That's the thing that excites me.
Which is wild.
Which is wild, right?
Yeah, because I mean, when you start getting more than one store and your hands aren't on it every single second, you start to have to trust people and all that stuff. So you kind of build ceilings, as far your roof comes lower, whatever. It's hard to get it better.
Yeah.
Than at least in my opinion, better than what we've done together. So this was really cool to hear.
Yeah. So for people who don't know, can you just give us like the 1-minute version about how you started and how things got kicked up a notch and what your plans are for the future?
Yeah, 2016, my brother and I started it in a little trailer the size of your closet in St. Pete, Florida. And then the dream is to be able to make dough in a store. So all of our resources were back home in Columbus, Ohio. So that's what got us home to our first store. Then shortly after, in a store with customers daily, is when I called Noel, because we were having problems right off the rip. And it's just been a deep dive into this dough world. And then you start to get some attention, your dough gets better. People start approaching you. We go to store number 2. Luckily, I had my brother at the time, or still do, but there was 2 of us, luckily. And then it just became 3 stores, and then we had the Portnoy effect and everything that comes with that. And then I got to call Noel again because we're making more dough and there's more hands on it. And that's so now we're on to our 4th store with patios, and we max out at 400 pizzas on Friday and Saturday and Thursdays and Sundays.
That's pretty good. And what kind of pizzas are you making? How do you describe them?
We call them like a Brooklyn char, maybe a little New Haven, New York.
So it's a thin crust, 18-inch?
We do 16.
16, I love it. Love it.
Yep. 510 gram dough balls. I was already doing math down here.
Man, I wish you were coming to the Pizza Expo this year. It would be so fun to bake with you. It would be so fun to bake with you.
Oh, yeah. Maybe next year.
I'm going to be at the Pizza Master booth this year, and I was thinking about doing 16-inch pizzas. It's funny you should say that. I do mine at about 450, but maybe I'll bump it up to 510 so I can get a little more oomph.
Oh, dude, we love that oomph.
You love that 510, huh?
We do. I feel like it had the spring pops a little bit more off the dragon. That's a whole other conversation. But and we have staff. So when you have tons of staff opening dough, it's just a little easier for them to work with a 510 than a 450.
Fair enough.
Yep.
All right. Well, this has been exciting. Thank you for sharing with us. Hopefully, we can get you some microbes. Don't buy anything till we chat, because I have some ideas for you.
Gotcha.
And so I'll be driving to San Diego to visit with these guys tomorrow, and I'm around all week. I'll be down in San Diego for a week, and then we're doing a big tasting for a VIP next Tuesday at what pizzeria is that again, Cameron?
Tribute Pizza, my favorite in San Diego right now.
Oh yeah,
love it.
Tribute. Love Tribute.
Yeah, well, love all the pizza, but Tribute it's good. It's a special place.
All right, good. So Joey, you put your info in the chat, sextonspizza.com. Beautiful. Yep. And then you mentioned the Portnoy effect. For people who don't know what that is, what is that?
Well, luckily, when you live in that kind of charred pizza world, that's where he lives. So he found us, and he gave us a pretty good score, which is an 8.1, and our sales have tripled and never really came down.
Beautiful. That's really incredible.
Yep. But you start to freak out and want to get better and make sure you're more consistent. And that's why I'm still doing this shit.
That's what I like about you, because I feel like a lot of other people would rest on their laurels, just trying to open stores, and you're still wanting to make better pizza, right?
Yep, exactly. Yeah, you have to.
Brings it back to what I said initially. Complacency is a real bitch.
It is, man.
There you go, Joey. Well, nice to meet you, brother. I'm excited.
Cheers, brother.
I think you said that you drop them on the Dragon. That's a type of conveyor oven, correct?
It's a stone conveyor, yep.
Yeah, great. Well, it'll be really interesting as we go, Noel, and when you're at the expo and working with Joey, just to see if there are some differences on the different types of ovens or anything like that, to see how the product really, the integration and the accessibility, like that we're all really excited about, and obviously the flavor and the health benefits that come along with it. So I'm excited. So really nice to meet you, Joey. One day we'll have some slices together, brother.
Oh yeah. Hey, Cameron, can I say something to Cameron real quick?
Yeah.
Hey, we have a Goodnight John Boy there in Gas Lamp, right?
Oh, yeah.
So they actually, we went there for a couple weeks or maybe a month, and we trained them. They took our recipes, and we trained their staff how to make Sexton's pizza.
Yeah.
So we got a spiral mixer, a dragon, a huge place down there. I told Noel that you guys need to try some pizza when you're there.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll add it to the list. It's
Yeah.
consider it done.
And
I'm excited.
if you need a dragon to test on, it's there.
Awesome. That's
Sweet.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks,
How
guys.
far is that from you,
Thank you.
Cameron?
Not far at all. It's
Gaslight?
about 20 minutes from our office, but about 10 minutes from my house. So
Walkable.
walkable.
There we go. I love it.
Beautiful.
All right, Joey. We'll
Cheers,
catch you on the
guys.
flip, brother. Thanks for
Hell
hanging
yeah,
out with
brother.
us.
Yep.
All right, so that was cool. So, for me, the reason I asked him to come on again is that he's the perfect client. He's somebody who started with nothing. He and his brother built one store, and then they built another store. Then they got lucky enough to have Portnoy come through, and sales tripled almost overnight. I've been working with them virtually for a couple of years, just trying to incrementally increase their quality, improve
Scalability.
and mostly consistency. When you have 3 stores, it's really hard. When you have 1 store, it's hard, So we have spent a lot of time watching them mix on Zoom and shape and bake and So somebody like that, most people would be like, all right, I'm just gonna reach for the stars. But he's like, no, what can I do to make my dough better? So this is actually perfect timing because we were talking about which pre-ferment, and my pre-ferment of choice is always sourdough, but it's so hard to manage, especially when you don't have a central kitchen. So I thought the timing was perfect. So he'll be placing an order, but I want to make sure we figure out what he needs to do. He would actually be perfect for the all-purpose because he's got it set up where he's so busy that they do 400 a day and then they're sold out. So he always does a 2-day ferment, and so it works perfectly for him. So he would get just that little bit of sour if he wants it. And if not, the wild yeast would also be good.
Yeah, getting that throughput down. Yeah.
Yeah. And whether it's great when you're a home baker because you're going to make 6 pizzas, and so you're going to ferment it for 24 or 48 or 36 or however many hours. So that works. And also when you're a busy pizzeria, on a Saturday night you're going to do 400 or 600 or 800 or whatever you're going to do, and that the dough you make on a Thursday is going to be used on a Saturday. The dough you make on a Wednesday is going to be used on a Friday, right? The difficulty is the dough that you're making on a Saturday for a Monday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday. That's where the difficulty comes in, right? Good. All right, so let's see. Were there any questions in the chat, or can we chat a little bit about Pizza Expo?
The last question, and I think we answered it. I tried to send it over in the Q&A. It was talking about, and I think we answered them. The shelf life of the bag and the best way to store it. That's in the fridge, and the shelf life was 4 months. You said, Cam? Great.
Yeah,
and Cam,
similar.
I see that you answered these both. So if anybody wants to check, how does it have this one? Kyle's asking a little bit more of a difficult one, right? Mm-hmm. Gas production. Yeah.
What's the question? Let's hear it.
Yeah. Well, it says, this is from Kyle. How does it behave re gas production? I've heard on a few of your classes, Dan Richard comes to mind, that some folks, including myself, have used a tiny bit of IDY along with their sourdough starters, so their dough has that little bit of extra oomph or gas production. Any info on where these little microbes land on the gas production scale? Looking forward to finding out firsthand.
Great question before you answer.
It's a good one,
Cameron.
Kyle.
Great question. Yeah. Cameron, go for it.
Yeah, I said, the goal of the calculator is to match the gas production. So that's kind of that goal, is that the doubling rate of your dough should be the same if you match the conversion calculator. But that being said, you could, replace the sourdough component with that and keep the IDY. It will have an impact on flavor, just like doing that with the sourdough starter will have. And, like Noel said, we're still learning. So if you need any help troubleshooting, that's the goal of these office hours. Come to us, let us help, email us, we're learning with you. If if you used a bag and it completely crapped out, don't give up on us. Contact us. We'll get you another bag so that we can test it out again. So it's a learning experience for us too.
Once again, it comes back to what Noel was saying is after the Pizza Expo, we'll be back on doing the office hours or Leaven Foods or whatever it is, a couple times a month, 3-4 times a month, to build that community. So we're all kind of learning and growing an application here together. So it's just exciting, and I can't wait to taste it. So,
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
Noel,
Go, Justin. Go.
I want you to show off your mixer.
No, we're not ready for that. First, we're going to talk about the Pizza Expo.
Okay.
So super excited.
Just anybody that's hoping to see me, I won't be there. Didn't get the invite.
Justin, it's not that you didn't get the invite. It's that we didn't get the cash. All right. We're doing this on the DL, on the DLL. So we don't have a booth. Start with that. If we had a booth, Justin, don't you think you'd be at the booth? Yes, we don't have a booth. So basically the way this went down is that when I met Cameron 2 years ago, Cameron, and I sent you to the Pizza Expo and I said, go to the Pizza Expo with your angel investor, and if you think that you want to go to the Pizza Expo with me next year or whenever you get your project together, we'll do it. But if you go to the Pizza Expo and you're like, no, I never want to go there again, then you can't get into the pizza game, because that's the place that you go to show off what you've got. Plus, in my estimation, my humble estimation, I've been going to the Pizza Expo most years for the better part of 15 years. It's been going on a lot longer than that. And one of the things that I know is there's almost never anything new at the Pizza Expo. Every booth is going to tell you, oh, no, that's not true, Noel. Look at this brand new oven. It's red this year. What are you talking about? There's nothing new. And then you'll go to another place and they'll be like, oh, no, look at this mixer. We used to top out at 210 RPMs. Now we're at 216. What do you mean there's nothing new at the Pizza Expo? Or some Italian flour company is going to be like, you'll never guess what we're doing. We're putting malt in our flour now, just like the Americans. Can you believe it? I mean, I'm totally making fun. But what I knew when I met you is that if you were able to do what I was hoping you were going to do, that we were going to go to the Pizza Expo and we were going to be, dare I say, the only booth at the Expo with something new. But things didn't work out as planned. We didn't get the funding that we wanted. But I called in every flavor in the book. And so I got Rob DiNapoli, partner of Chris Bianco at Bianco DiNapoli, to agree to let us use his booth as a home base. I used to work with him regularly when I used to run the King Arthur booth at the Pizza Expo. He was one of my many partners in crime, Chris too. So we are going to be at his booth supplying sourdough bread to be sampled with 2 of his sauces at the Bianco DiNapoli booth. And who knows, maybe at the DiNapoli booth as well. They're going to be connected this year. I believe this is the first year that they're doing not 1 but 2 booths, DiNapoli and Bianco DiNapoli side by side, right? So I'll be there. Cameron, you'll be there. James will be there. Justin sadly will not, but Sienna will be there. Our other staff baker, soon to be full-time.
Yes. Yeah, hopefully.
So that's really exciting. So every day we're going to make fresh bread, and we're going to bake it off in the morning, and we're going to drive it over from our friend John Arena from his bakery. He has, I think, 7 or 8 pizzerias in Las Vegas. Metro Pizza, one of the best. So every morning we're going to bake fresh bread at the crack of dawn. We'll probably be at the bakery at 6 a.m. Usually I'm at the expo hall at 6 a.m., but we're not baking this year because we don't have a booth. But that's fine. So we're going to show up and we're going to bake. And then so we're going to be there all 3 days at the Bianco DiNapoli booth. Come find us. And then what I also did is I reached out to Pizza Master, which is another booth that I love, another company that I love. Lee Hunsinger is their corporate chef. Lee is one of my best pizza buddies. And so he invited me to do the noon spot on Tuesday. So I'm going to make sourdough pizza. I haven't decided what style of pizza or which microbes we're going to use, but I'm super excited. We're going to pop up there for 1 hour. So that's going to be super awesome. So you'll be able to try our bread. You'll be able to try our pizza both. And then on Wednesday and Thursday, I'm going to be on Wednesday. I'll be popping up at the OONI booth. They're releasing, it's either April 4th or April 6th, the OONI spiral mixer, which is called the OONI Halo. So they shipped me one of the early versions of the mixer. I helped them. I just gave them feedback, basically. I have a good relationship with the owner. Cristiani took lots of my classes from the very, very beginning of COVID. So we met virtually, and then last year, I think Cameron, did I introduce you to Christian, or was that James? Yeah. So we said, hey, we might be coming back next year. Any chance we can do a pop-up? And he's like, yeah, get out of here. I got to trying to sell ovens. So this year he's launching the OONI Halo. So I'm going to be popping up at 12:30 on Wednesday. And I just found out that Dan from Pizzeria Razza in Jersey City is going to be popping up at 11:30 right before me. So we're going to have dueling sourdoughs. What do you think about that, Cameron?
Man, I don't know if I want that.
I don't want that.
I don't know if I want to take on Dan.
I want to take him on, and I want to lose to Dan. That's what I want to do. Because if I'm going to lose to anyone, I'm going to lose to Dan.
Yeah, you don't have to feel bad about that.
To be second fiddle to that guy is like first fiddle anywhere else in the world, right?
Yes, amen. Awesome.
Yeah, so that's going to be super fun. And then I haven't decided what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do a super high hydration mix. They asked me what kind of flour I want to use. So Caputo's got a couple of flours that I like. They have a whole wheat flour, and they've got a super strong malted 00 that I like, Americana. So I'm going to probably do a 50%. I'll probably do a 50% whole wheat and probably something short of 100% hydration mix. And I'm going to teach people how to do double hydration. So the water goes in 2 phases. And then they also asked me to come back on Thursday and do a second mix. So I haven't decided what I'm going to do for that yet. But the most important thing is that I'm going to be mixing with your microbes. And I'm probably going to do straight mix the first day. And I'm probably going to do probably a poolish made with your microbes on the second day. So I can show people a couple of different mixing techniques and a couple of different ways to use the microbes. How does that sound?
Beautiful. And, I think it's all of the stuff that you said is a testament to the generosity of the pizza community. It's awesome.
Really incredible. It's really
super
incredible.
grateful to be able to even go, because if it wasn't for that generosity, I don't know, we'd be walking around again.
Right? And that's really one of the things I love about the pizza community. Like, honestly, the first year I went to the Pizza Expo and ran the King Arthur booth, I had such a big team from all over the country that there wasn't enough space at our booth to refrigerate all of our dough, to mix all our dough. So John Arena stepped up and he's like, Noel, you and your team can come to my bakery on that Sunday or that Monday, and you can all mix and you can use my walk-in. Anything that I have is yours. I was like, oh my God, you just saved us, right? Yeah. And then the next year he did it again. And then this year he did it again. I don't even have a booth.
Yeah. Hopefully we can pay it back at some point. We'll pay it back if we can.
Yeah.
When the next startup comes, we put them in our booth or something.
And it would be nice to have a booth for sure. But I wouldn't say I like popping up because you don't really have a home. People have been saying to me, well, what are you going to do about this? And what are you going to do about that? And I'm like, it's going to be like Cirque du Soleil, right? It's going to be a lot of like mid-air pass-offs, right?
Yeah. But come visit us. We'll have some tote bags. We'll have to come up with a code word for our friends here on the Science of Sourdough, right?
We will.
Especially the tote bag folks. I don't know. Justin, what's a code word? Justin came up with a great code word, I feel like.
How about Justin?
There we go.
That's definitely it.
If you see us at the Pizza Expo, say Justin and get the tote bag. Sorry,
there
Justin.
You go.
No, say it like this, Justin. Like I do. Justin!
There you go. Wow. I mean, the flavor of the favor, seems like we're just tossing around some friggin', dare I say it, titans of the pizza game. I heard Bianco, DiNapoli, Richer, Arena. I mean, these are just some of the people that Noel's got the flavor. Why don't you bring that bad boy a little closer, Noel?
I
Show us.
can't. I
Show
can't.
us.
But I will tell you some of the things that I like about the mixer. Number one,
Big
for
old
a
bowl.
for a spiral mixer, yeah, this can do 5 kilos of dough.
Wow.
How much can your KitchenAid do, Justin?
I don't have a KitchenAid anymore, Noel.
What? All right. You mean you got rid of it?
No, it's just down in the basement.
All
I have
right,
a
all right, all right.
7.5 quart. It's a 6. It's rated for a 6 quart, but I bought a bowl off Bezo that was 7.5, and I just, I run it for.
Guess what this is?
I
Guess what
think
this is, Justin?
that's a what is it? What is it? It's
That's a removable breaker bar. You
that's
can't
right, a
find that
removable breaker
anywhere.
bar. Can't find. I know where to find it.
Well, most spiral mixers, the thing about them is that the breaker bar doesn't move. You have to go really big on a bowl, like really big on a bowl to get a removable mixer. Look at this. It's got a paddle. This is the only spiral mixer I've ever seen with a paddle. Usually you cannot remove the dough hook, so that's pretty exciting.
And then it's
What
got
else do I-
what else?
Hey,
Whoa, let me see that. What is
ruining
that?
the surprise.
Whoa.
This thing is heavy.
That's the curlicue, baby.
This thing is heavy.
It's like
This
a
is
pig's
really nice.
tail. It's like a pig's tail.
It works
Metal.
really well.
Yeah, it's the swine, everybody. That's
Then look at this. You'll never see this on a spiral mixer. Ready for the big reveal?
Yeah, this is the only way
Ooh.
that I was allowed to use this thing. Is my wife was like, "Well, how am I gonna make this?" I'm like, "Oh, here you go. You've got it's just like your KitchenAid,
Right? Egg beater.
but there you go.
Beautiful.
We're a big meringue family, and everybody
Big
knows
meringue
that. It's
family.
common knowledge.
So the other thing I really like about this mixer, besides the removable bowl, is that it's got a variable speed drive. And by variable, I don't mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean truly variable. You can mix by RPMs or you can mix by percentage. It's really beautiful. Another thing I like about it is that it's got not one, but 2 halogen lights.
Yeah, can you
And so
turn it on? Can you see?
No, I cannot, Justin. I think it has to be. I literally just took it out of the box.
Oh, it's not plugged in.
And just it is plugged in, but I think you have to have everything injected.
No, you don't. No, you flip the little switch on at the back. No.
It's on. Oh, it wasn't on.
See, people. This is what
All
I
right.
have to do. This is what I have to do.
Look at that. Not one, but two. Not one, but two. I thought I did have it on.
You could do like a little shadow puppet thing there. It's pretty bright. So
Now, Justin, you know what I can do that you can't do?
talk to me.
Show off my show off my mixer on the internet. You have an engineer's model.
Right. It's
And
clicking. It's clicking. Make sure you tell OONI that when you see him that mine's making this clicking sound. It's not
that's what
unlike
they fixed. That's what they fixed.
It's not unlike my Hyundai.
They fixed a few things. I told them a few things that I wanted them to fix, and they fixed all of them.
Good.
Yeah. So I will be doing mixes at the Pizza Expo at the OONI booth. You know what's the craziest thing about the OONI oven booth this year? There's not going to be one single oven there.
Wow.
It's going to be all OONI Halo spiral mixers.
Cool.
Super exciting. What time we got? 6:13. We're going over.
It's the nature of the bees. Had a lot to cover.
We did.
Had a lot to cover.
We did. So thank you everybody for coming. I myself had a great time as usual. Thanks to Joey Sexton. Thanks to all the people who asked all the great questions. Thanks to James for mixing the dough in the front room.
Yeah, we missed Jimmy.
Why is Jimmy mixing dough? What's it for, Cameron? Tell us, can you, or is it a secret?
We're getting ready for you, Noel, and we're doing all the tests we possibly can between now and April 3rd. Everything that we can do.
That's true.
So
we're going to be working on recipes this week, right?
Yep. Before we ship microbes, there'll be recipes on the website. We promise.
So that's really important. And you know what? Everybody already has their own recipe, but I think it's also really important. Just like in my on-demand classes, there's a million ways to make focaccia, pizza bianca, New York pizza, Detroit. But if we all start with, let's say 4 basic recipes, right? 3 basic recipes. It'll be great because it'll help us to troubleshoot, right? And so
Yeah.
if you're saying, well, I'm getting this result, and I'm saying, well, I'm getting that result, let's use the same recipe. Let's use the same microbes. If we're using different flour or different mixers, fine, but let's at least start with the same recipe, the same microbes, and let's figure it out.
Right.
Beautiful. Very exciting.
Mitigate the variables in the old pizza equation.
Yeah, beautiful. So thank you, everybody. Cameron, you want to say a thank you to anybody in particular?
Just thank you to everyone who came. Thank you, Kyle, for the question, Alex for the question. I think that was Susan for the question. They're super, super helpful. I appreciate all the questions, and I appreciate you coming. Appreciate all the support.
Beautiful. All right, so are we going to do one more before the Pizza Expo from San Diego next Monday?
That's the plan.
St. Patty's Day, St. Patrick's Day.
Are you going to be back from San Francisco, Cameron?
I'll be back.
So hold on, Justin. What are you trying to say about St. Patty's Day? Are you going to be
saying I might be?
You're going to be drunk at 5 o'clock?
Yeah, stranger things have happened.
Well, what bar? What bar are you going to be zooming from? Let us know. Maybe people want to hang out with you.
I'll be zooming from this bar. The bar at the end of the
Chez Justin.
Yeah, the bar at the end of the Looney Tunes cartoon with Merry Go Round Broke Down playing on repeat 1.
Love it. All right. Well, thank you, Cameron. Thank you, Justin. Justin, I'll let you take us out.
Yes, thank you guys so much, Cam. Noel, it's always good to hang out with my pizza brethren, everybody who decided to join us tonight. Thank you so much. Once again, it's really important to us. I think Noel said something really exciting. We're always looking for a new thing because, I'm going to bring it back. We become numb to that which we have all the time. It's part of human nature. It's that complacency thing that I was talking about earlier. And so this is really exciting. This is a really exciting way to bring more flavor and accessibility and health benefits, and really, and on the professional side of things, streamline a process that everyone can have those benefits. But it's really accessible and something that you can implement. So you are actually, like Noel was saying, you don't have to baby your sourdough. You don't have to find people that have the same passion that you are that will be screwing up one of the variables in the pizza equation. That this will make it a little bit more accessible to have consistency no matter where you are making your pies, or what oven, hopefully, or what mixer you got, and so you can share it. You can share the pizza that you want to make with the people that you care about, which brings us back to the dealio. Even though we're dropping support noise here, you know the deal. We do not get into the politics of pepperoni and pineapple here at Slow Rise. Oh no, we do say pizza always, and always pieces. Pizza. There we go. You know the dealio. We love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We'll see you next week. Same bat time. It'll be St. Patrick's Day, so I don't know. You don't know. Love you guys. Pieces and slices.